travel, discover new cities, climb up the mountains, swim through the valley, run through the green lush, feel the breeze of colorful flowered gardens stretched up to the horizon. Are you all thinking that I'm here to express my experience of some trip? Alas, this was not the case. This is what I dreamt of, standing in a highly packed BMTC bus, clinging onto an iron beam and waiting for a place to sit down. A short and a stout lady with two huge bundles of clothes on her head came and stood beside me. The moment she came across a khaki-colored uniform, she zipped open her purse and demanded for a ticket. The whole crowd in the bus burst out in laughter. You know why? Because he was not a bus conductor, but a college-going student in his mechanical workshop uniform. All of you know the pain of getting a seat in a BMTC bus. And so my eyes cautiously looked for a seat to sit down. After a wait of 20 minutes, I found a seat. The moment I sat down, he came and sat beside me. A guy who was very lean, with ill-fitting jeans, a shirt with all possible colors on it, untrimmed beard, and a scary smile. From then, all that I did was just to sit straight, hold my breath, and tell myself, all is well, all is well. Yeah. After 20 minutes, I got down in my stop where my father had promised to pick me up. I was doing a little street shopping when I saw my dad talking to the very same person I had been avoiding in the bus. When I asked him who it was, he told me that he was a person from a remote village who had taken up the pledge to educate the entire village soon after his +2 and was in a city visit to seek help for the same. Surprising. Let me tell you another story which I read a couple of years ago in the Week magazine, where a guy from US falls madly in love with a girl who was a singer at the local radio station. Her voice was so melodious that her fan count had increased from a very few hundreds to many thousands in a very short interval of time. And this guy had decided that she would be his wife and had made many unsuccessful attempts to propose to her. But when he actually got a chance to speak to her, he realized that she was a physically challenged or a physically able person who couldn't see the world around. You know what he did? He said he was very sorry about his foolishness and he backed up. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, are you all wondering as to why I am narrating bits of unrelated stories to you all? Let's roll back and join the dots. The moment I told you about my craze for nature, how much I would enjoy the nature, you must have all thought or presumed that I travel a lot. Well, that was just a dream. The moment the stout lady saw a khaki-colored uniform, she presumed him to be a bus conductor and wanted a ticket. That was not the case either. And the guy who came and sat beside me, with his messy looks and that raw attitude, gave me a very wrong perception. But in actual sense, he was a person with a very revolutionary mindset to educate the entire village. That was my perception. Perceptions happen without even seeing a person or knowing a person. Example is that when the US guy whom I spoke about had decided that a girl would be his wife without actually knowing her or seeing her. Believe it or not, perception runs the world today. Perception in dictionary words is the identification, organization and interpretation of sensory information in order to understand and represent the world around. Understood? Complicated. Let me make it simple. The moment I look at a person, my mind is going to give me a picture about that person. This is the person, this is his nature, so and so. Is that the truth? Might be, might not be. In today's virtual world, we are in constant conversation with people whom we have never met in our lifetime or we may never meet also. In this case, perception plays a very important role. Time for acceptance. How many of you have experienced love at first sight? I appreciate it. Most of us who didn't raise our hands did say a yes with their smiles. All of us perceive things about people and take it for granted that this person is this. But this might be true or no. So it's left to you to believe it or not. We would have lived with the person for an entire life and still be surprised by the way they react to certain situations. In such a case, perceptions can be true or may be false. So it's again left to you to believe it or not. Two important things before I conclude. Perception is an involuntary action of your mind. It decides even before knowing things. But it's always left to you to understand the situation and conclude things. Point number 2. It's not always about having a perception about things. perception, what perception you give to the outer world also matters, because this might stay with that person for a very long time or maybe a lifetime as well. So be careful about what perception you give to the outer world. Yes, perception is an involuntary action, but we do have a voluntary part of brain which can tell us what is true and what is false. So it's left to you to believe it or not. Take your call. Love your life and make your life even more beautiful.